Hi, welcome back to another episode of Soulful Sundays with Madge. I just want to take the time out to thank you so much for tuning in another week with me, another week of self-discovery and looking to lead our best possible lives. And as always, if you are enjoying what you are receiving, I ask that you please remember to hit that like button, ring the bell to subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, you can email me at askmadge18@gmail.com with any questions you may have regarding this video, a past video, or just anything in general. So with that all being said, let's begin with this week's episode. And this week's episode title is What's Leading You, the Moment or the Spirit? Now, this actually, the way in which I was gonna go, the direction of this week, it changed many times. The title changed many times, and it really left me feeling like I was having moments of where I was like lacking confidence, because I'm like, it's just been so much going on this month. And I don't know about you, but, well, it's not that I don't know about you, but I don't know personally where you are in this moment, in this month. But for me, it's been like, it's been a surge. It's just been so much going on this month, to the point where I came into March and it was just, I felt so overwhelmed. And if you know background of this channel, it's all guided. I pray, I meditate over the topics, what I'm gonna share with you. So I look for God to really give me a message, give me something to say. And so when it changes, I get a little nervous, but at the same time, I have to say to myself that I'm seeking and I'm asking for a word, I'm asking for a direction, because ultimately my goal is to give you a part of me, give you something to take away, to know that whatever thoughts that you have, whatever fears you have, whatever moments where you feel you're not worthy or you're not good enough, that you are not alone in this, and that I have felt those same feelings many times in my life. And so I'm just at a place where it's like, if God has to use me to put out to the world that it's okay to not be okay, and to know that even though we're not okay all the time, that it doesn't mean that we won't have days where we are okay. So this is where I'm at with this week's episode, and I'm gonna honor it. I'm gonna honor and I'm gonna own my flaws, and I'm gonna own whatever direction that we go in this week, because I believe that it's meant for me to go in this direction. So if I have to share my life or share my experiences and things that I go through to let someone else know that it's okay, and they could feel whatever you're feeling in this moment about yourself, and just know that that's exactly what it is. It's a moment, and that moment does not have to define your tomorrow. And it made me think about, what's the difference? Because here's the thing: in life we all have challenges. In life we all have things that we have to overcome. We all have thoughts that go through our minds. Somewhere I was reading that the human mind can have somewhat up to like over 70 thoughts a day. So can you imagine, like, with 70 thoughts a day, like, what are the things that we are thinking? What are the things that are coming into our minds and directing us and telling us to act on whatever it is, or making us believe certain things, and then it triggers us to do something? And so I was just thinking, like, if we all have things that we're overcoming in life, obstacles, challenges, what is the difference between the people who people who appear to be struggling in life versus the people that appear to have it all together, the people that seem to be thriving in life and winning in life and having those wonderful life experiences. And and I thought that, well, there's two things. One can be, they're doing these things, but we're putting on a show. Because how many people, like when you genuinely ask someone, how are you doing today? How many people are just like, oh, well, I just got through crying my eyes out, or I'm broken, or oh yeah, how am I doing today? I feel unworthy. Or how am I doing today? I feel not attractive. Like, so many times, like, no one's not really gonna put out what they're really thinking. You're just like, oh, I'm doing good in life, or everything's good, when it's really not. And so I thought, okay, there's some people that may appear to have it all together, but they don't. And there could also be those people that, yeah, they do have it together, but it's what are the choices that they're making? And that's like what I've come to realize, is that we all have obstacles. We all have things that we are trying to overcome, that we are working through. But I feel that the difference maker, where some people are thriving and some are struggling, is the choices that a person makes in the moment. The moment when something comes up, the moment when they're struggling, the moment where it seems like there's a barrier that's going to prevent you from getting to the next level. It's that very choice that you choose to make in those moments that I feel is the difference maker in life. And I was also thinking about in life in general, and I'm sure you've had this moments, like when we look back and we think about the times in life that we have felt so good about ourselves. We felt like we learned something very profound, like an ability to tap into an area in our life. And when we like accomplished a goal, and the goal was not easy. The goal came with its challenges, but somehow like we accomplished it. And I feel like those are the moments in life that really define us. Those are the moments in life that we always remember. Those are the moments in life that taught us that we had something in us, that just when we thought like we could give up, that we were able to tap into something that just really pushed us over the edge and pushed us to the next level. And I was thinking, like, why is that? Why is it the moments that brought such great difficulty, but yet we still overcame it? We overcame whatever those obstacles were, and we got to the other side. Like, why are those moments so memorable when they were actually very hard? And I think it's because we actually learned something about ourselves. We learned that we had something inside of us that was always there. That's the thing. Like, it's always there, but it's just something that we did not tap into for whatever reason. We didn't utilize this spiritual tool that's on the inside of us. And and it just made me think, like, even times in my life, I can remember when I moved back home after I had just had my oldest child. I have two children, my daughter. And I came home, I was so broken. Clearly I've been broken many times in my life, but it's okay because I'm much better now. So we can evolve, we can grow, we can overcome. But so I was pregnant, no job, so no way of having any income. I was uneducated. I didn't have any form of education. I had no idea what I was going to do with myself. And quite naturally, my loving father, he took me in, and he's just like, you know what, Madge, I got you. Whatever you need, we're gonna get through this part of your life together. And I can remember being so thankful and grateful for my father, like opening up his home to me, and just knowing like I had someone there to support me. I had someone that was going to root for me and adjust whatever adjustments he had to make to his schedule to make sure that me and his grandchild were gonna be okay. And I remember this. I didn't realize this is what I was doing, but it was so special to me. One of the goals that I had was I did not want to use my father. I wanted to utilize him. So what I'm saying is that I wanted to make sure that I I wanted to make sure that I took full advantage of all the resources that were being presented to me externally. And I did not realize what I was doing, but spiritually, I needed to tap into another level of myself, mentally, on every level on the inside. I had to tap into another level to say, okay, Madge, you got to kick this up, because someone is sacrificing their life. They're putting their life somewhat on hold so that you can be okay. And if this person was to leave this earth tomorrow, what will happen with you and your daughter? What way would you be able to support your child? So in my mind, I was like, you know what? I have to take full advantage of this moment, full advantage of the time and the blessing that God is giving me. And I can remember I had an image, and the image wasn't clear, but the image was me finishing school. The image was me being a career woman. The image was me being able to provide for my child and not needing my father to have to provide for me, because this was my child. This was a decision that I made, and I was watching a man give up, sacrifice parts of his life. So, I literally had this image, and the image was the end. It wasn't the moment that I was in, it was the end. It was me walking across the stage. It was me bringing in this money. It was me being able to pay my own rent. It was me being able to go and put groceries in the refrigerator. It was me living on my own. So I had these images of the end and what life was going to look like. And so what happened was I went to school year round. I went summer, I went fall, I went spring. I was taking 16, 18 credit hours. I was proactive. I was sitting, I was meeting with counselors, and I'm like, show me the whole rubric. Show me everything that every class that I'm going to need to graduate. And if a class wasn't available on site, well, is it available online? Like, I literally was so active in school. I was active in my life. I didn't wait for someone just to assign a class to me. I didn't wait for someone to be like, well, this class is not available. I'm like, well, is it available at another campus? Is it available online? Like, I was on a mission. And I accomplished that goal, right? I accomplished that moment. But in thinking about this week and the message of what's leading you, the moment or the spirit, I got to thinking, like, I had so many moments that had my spirit not been tapped into that higher realm of who I knew I was capable of being, that I held on to in the end. All those moments, I'm sure I had so many moments of opposition, so many moments to challenge me, so many moments that if I would have been thinking logically and not spiritually, I would have been like, there's no way, logically, there's no way that you can take 18 credit hours for 3 semesters. Well, you know what? There is a way. But what I was doing was I had to decrease. I had to decrease in life in order to increase in life. And sometimes the decrease is not easy, because you have to actually take away something in the moment to know that you're going to increase down the road. And so you have to hold on to that image, and you just really have to challenge yourself to tap into a higher version of yourself. And I know that there's been moments in your life where you had to do the very same thing. And those are the moments, like I said, that we always seem to remember. And they were so hard, but we are actually proud of ourselves. We think about those moments, and in the moment, we're like, oh my gosh, but why do you keep going? It's because you have an end goal. You see something. You've seen the possibilities of where you're gonna go and where it's gonna take you. So you don't allow that moment to lead you. you somehow find a way to work through the moment, and you allow your higher spirit to tap in, to kick in, and to take you along that journey to the end. And you know, I was thinking to myself, like, these are moments in life, right? Where we set a goal, or something happens. We feel like our backs are against the wall. And that's usually what sparks it. Our backs are against the wall and we feel like there's just no other way. There's no other option. It's literally, as they say, fight or flight, sink or swim, whatever it is. I always say, I know we hear that we have 5 senses. I always say that eventually we have 6, and I call that 6th sense, I say survival mode. But I believe we might actually have more. But when that survival mode kicks in, it taps into another part of you, a part that, and you know what I think that part is? Actually, what I believe that part is? That part is our higher self. That part is the version of ourselves that we don't believe that we are, because so many times we tell ourselves that I'm not. I do this all the time. I look at so many people. Oh my God, I have amazing people in my life. That my sister-in-law, fabulous. She's a great decorator. Her home's beautiful. She just makes the house look good. But so many times I'll say, well, I'm not creative, or I don't have that. I grew up with me. I come up with all these excuses. But what I've realized is the more I create that I am not, I'm going to get a whole lot more of I am not. So now I'm really I still don't have it all together, but I go to those at-home stores. I go to those Pure Ones, and I just walk around and I have no idea half the time what I'm looking at. But I believe that I'm going to get there one day. I want to get there one day. I see the end. And so I'm getting off topic. But my point is that version of ourselves that pushes us to do the very things that we didn't even believe that we could do, the very things that we can look back and say, wow, I went through hell and back, but I did that. That is a version of ourselves that if we are intentional in life, we can actually be that person every single day. And how I know it's possible is because I'm sitting here and I'm recording this video. And mid-March, I mean, it has been a surge. My Uber drivers, I'm not an Uber driver, but I have great part-time Uber drivers in my life, and they share their maps with me sometimes. Look at the surge, and it's like all these rides you can pick up, and it's like red dots all over this map. And literally, like, I wasn't even in March. I was in February. And in February, I was nervous about my March. People were like, let's do this. Put me on the calendar for this match. Let's hang out. Let's do dinner. We're due for this. And even with that, more stuff was coming up. Unexpected things where it's just like, I gotta be there. That has to go on my calendar. That's truly important. And on top of that, I still have normal family life, normal things that I still have to do. So what I'm saying is long days. But the reason why I'm still able to do this and do everything is because I am now in a place where I'm saying no longer will the moment lead me. Because if I allow the moment to lead me, logically, I'm probably going to give up. Because I'm going to look at my days, I'm going to look at my month, I'm going to look at the laundry, I'm going to look at what's for dinner, I'm going to look at my kids and their play dates, I'm going to look at the homework, I'm going to look at the house that needs to get cleaned, I'm going to look at everything logically that's going on, and it's going to tell me I can't. But I've already seen the end. I already know where I'm going. So when the moment comes and it wants to punch me in my face and tell me, girl, you don't have this, you're overwhelmed, you have too much. I do. I am overwhelmed. I do have a lot on my plate, but I see the end and it's going to be okay. So yeah, maybe I got to get a little bit better on figuring out where I can decrease in order to increase. But I believe I'm going to get there, and I believe I already am slowly getting there, because what I'm doing is I'm saying there's some things in my life that are just going to be non-negotiables. They're going to be just a certain way of life. There's going to be certain things that I am absolutely going to have time for. I'm going to make time for. So, what leads you? Is it the moment? Or are you being led by the Spirit, the higher version of yourself? And you know, I find that the higher version of ourselves is not, we have to actually go seeking it, because we have a default version. Oh, I have a default version. Default version Madge is not this person. She can be angry. She can be, I can be angry. I could be jealous. I could have zero patience. There's just a lot of things, you know, lack of confidence. But you know what? I had my days with that Madge, and I'm done with that Madge. I'd rather wake up every day and seek this Madge, because this Madge is going to take me to every place and have every experience that I intend to have. So, I say, seek your higher self. Seek the self that tells you that you are beautiful, that you are confident, that you are capable of handling any and every moment that presents itself to you. Any moment that presents a challenge, because you know where you're going. And that is a moment. And that moment is not going to define your end. So I thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Soulful Sundays with Madge. I really hope that I've given you something to think about throughout the week. As always, my goal is truly to just let someone know that you're not alone. I mean, I just said that the mind has about 70,000 thoughts a day. So trust me, the thoughts that you think are not original, we probably all share them. I share them. And the wonderful thing is, like, the more that you work on becoming a better self, the better version of yourself, the more that you're going to be able to really start to just sit back and actually be a spectator of your own mind. I do that many times, believe it or not. I have so many thoughts that'll go through my head, and I'll just start to say, like, Madge, where did that thought come from? Why would you think that? Think better of yourself, girl. Take no additional thoughts. You already know where you're going. You know what you're working towards. So and you'll find that you're able to just kick a thought right out of your mind. And I can remember so many times when I was unintentional, thoughts could come in my mind and I would just act on them. I would attach my experience to just a random thought that came through my mind. The thought said, so I would do. You know, so I thank you. And I want you to have a great week. And thank you once again for tuning in to Soulful Sundays with Madge. Bye.